from the station that's on your side. This is Channel 7 News at 6.
Well, good evening to you. We do begin tonight with Arkansas in a state of emergency. It follows Sunday's storms that left 2 people dead, countless trees down, and tens of thousands without power. Channel 7 News is on your side with team coverage from across Arkansas as the recovery gets underway. We'll join our reporters in the field in just a moment. But first, our chief meteorologist, Barry Brandt, is here. And Barry, we know yesterday's storms were fueled by high heat, and we're going to see a lot more of that.
Yeah, high heat and high humidity. It's coming back, but this time it's going to stick around for several days. And it's a real race getting the power back on and getting that air conditioning and these very high heat index readings, which will really start Wednesday, last Thursday and Friday, even to some extent on Saturday. Tomorrow will be the best of the days as we're in most of the state in a relatively drier air mass and a little bit cooler as well. Our Futurecast model tonight shows that front down in South Arkansas. It's still humid there, and overnight there could be a few showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm in the southwestern part of the state. There won't be many, and we'll watch those, and then by sunrise or so tomorrow, they'll be gone. Eventually, this is going to lift up, and that warm air from Texas will be here. Tomorrow, though, it won't be, at least for central Arkansas. Mid-90s for highs, 90 at noon, and humidity not terrible. 72 the overnight low tonight, but look at Searcy and Conway at 68. And tomorrow, again, most of us in a pretty comfortable air mass. South Arkansas will be warm and humid. The high heat is coming. We'll have more on that, and when it dies, all coming up.
Okay, Barry, thank you. We turn our attention now to Sunday's storms and the aftermath. Channel 7's Beth Hunt is leading our coverage. She's in her hometown of Carlisle tonight, where we know 2 people died yesterday. And Beth, the damage there is extensive.
It is. There's widespread damage across Lonoke County, but specifically here in Carlisle, there is a lot of damage, especially for a small town. Crews, as you can see, are working to dismantle this enormous tree that was knocked over Highway 13. This road has been blocked since late last night. We'll have more on that in just a moment. But as you mentioned, 2 people died in this storm just a few blocks from here when a tree fell on their mobile home. We spoke this morning with Albert Jones. He says he lost his wife, 64-year-old Shirley Jones, and their son, 40-year-old Albert Jones Jr., and he is completely devastated.
We had just got through eating breakfast. Just got to eating dinner. And she came in and sat on the bed, and all of a sudden, it was like a curtain. It just came between us. She went to lean across the bed, and that's when it happened. The tree just fell through the house and got her, both of them.
And of course, our hearts go out to Mr. Jones and his family tonight. The winds that came through here last night were unlike anything residents here say they have seen ever. We spoke to a homeowner here along Highway 13 earlier, and here's some shingles that came off of her home. She said that her home is 150 years old, and when the winds came through, she could just feel it shake. And then she heard all of these loud noises outside, and those noises were these enormous trees that fell down. Just to kind of give you a perspective on the size of it, where the roots were, they were just broken off and pulled from underneath this sidewalk and toppled over onto Highway 13. Again, this road has been blocked for much of the day, but as you saw, crews are working to take the tree apart and get things back in working order so cars can sort of make their way through town. It's like this all over town. There are these huge old trees that were just uprooted, many of them falling on homes. There's no power here, so of course the heat is taking its toll on folks. The police station has opened up a cooling center, and they're inviting residents to come there not only to cool off, but to charge their devices, and also if they have any medical equipment, to charge those devices. So a long road to recovery here in the small town of Carlisle. And we know this is not the only community that was hit. Lonoke was also hit very hard. Also over in North Little Rock, the Amboy community, that's an area that was hit hard by the March 31st tornado. They were still recovering, and they sustained damage there. Our Emma Allen is there live for us tonight, and we're going to go to her now. Emma, how are things looking where you are?
When you drive through the Amboy area, you will still see damage from the March 31st tornado, and then something like this happens, just adding a lot more damage to that. It's been nearly 3 months since a tornado devastated the Amboy community in North Little Rock. But last night, they saw another round of severe weather, leaving Richard Wilson and his family with more to clean up.
I started towards the house, and next thing you know, it was like, I can't really explain. The wind just was coming from like 2 different directions at the same time and just went like that, and I ran in the house. As soon as I ran in the house, this tree came down. I mean, it was literally within seconds.
That tree completely crushing his daughter's car and damaging part of his family's home.
My daughter's car is totally crushed. It's gone. She got it for her sweet 16, so she's not happy. It's an emotional loss as far as a car loss. We're lucky in the fact that so far it looks like we've got the whole front of our house, the fascia board, the gutters are all pulled out. I got big holes there.
And on top of the damage, they also haven't been able to move the tree that fell because of a beehive that is now swarming around the tree.
So that's adding a little complexity to things because we're going to have to get those taken care of before we really start on the tree, because you can't go sawing on the tree and then get them all agitated. So we've got word out to a couple of beekeepers to come and get them and rehome them somewhere other than in our tree that we need to get off the house.
Wilson's family was inside the house taking shelter during the March 31st tornado and when the tree fell last night. Wilson now saying he has a whole new sense of respect for the weather.
It's kind of interesting how the last 5 years, nobody had ever been through a pandemic like we had. Our kids now know about it. Our kids in this area really didn't know anything about tornadoes. They know about tornadoes now, so they're kind of getting a lot of life lessons here in the last 5 years.
Now, after the March 31st tornado hit, community members told me they were Amboy strong, and they say that still remains true today. On your side in North Little Rock, I'm Emma Allen. Back to you, Beth.
Okay, Emma, thanks so much for that report from North Little Rock tonight. Another area that was hit hard was Faulkner County. Our Andrew Mobley is live in Conway tonight, where some residents there are saying the damage that they're seeing today is worse than they've ever seen there. He joins us now live. Andrew.
The damage in Conway from this most recent storm actually seems worse than the EF2 tornado that hit last week. Among the hardest hit areas are Caldwell and Davis streets. The historic neighborhood area had large trees fall and knock out power lines, causing outages and making roads impassable. A man's truck was crushed by a massive tree in front of the Airbnb at which he was staying. One woman was pinned to the ground when a fallen tree crashed through her roof on top of her. She has since been released from the hospital. It is unknown at this time how many were injured in the storm. Another man's house narrowly avoided total destruction when a large tree in the neighbor's yard fell onto his property.
In there, yes, there wasn't no warning. Just, high winds were going, then all once, bam, it was over. So, I mean, you'd have no time to think about running or anything.
Conway Corporation, the city's public utility company, has been scrambling to assess the extent of the damage.
Old Conway was hit pretty hard because of all the limbs. We had the other areas in town are just where we had broken poles. Poles that just snapped. And I've been here 25 years, have never seen 40 to 50 broken poles like that. So we had a lot of powerful straight line winds that impacted us.
Church volunteers were going around the town today. Helping clear debris from streets and lawns and providing food to affected homeowners.
We are just here to serve our community and just be the hands and feet of Jesus, and we're just here to love on people that need help in a time of crisis.
As of 1 p.m. today, the number of those without power in Conway had been reduced, I'm told, from 8,000 to 2,500. On your side, I'm Andrew Mobley.
All right, Andrew, thank you. We appreciate your coverage tonight, as well as Emma Allen. I'm back here in Lonoke County, live in Carlisle, and as you can hear me, the crews are working on this tree that is blocking Highway 13. Earlier today, I spoke with County Judge Doug Irwin, and he said he sent a convoy of dump trucks and crews over to here to help clear some of this debris. We're seeing some of that now, and really we've seen a lot of neighbors come out to check on their neighbors. We know that is the true spirit of Arkansas in times like these. On your side in Carlisle tonight, at that time, Chris, we'll send it back to you in studio.
Beth, thanks so much. The sounds of whirring chainsaws, so familiar after March 31st, are back. Well, coming up here, the loss of a legend. The community activist Say McIntosh has died. We'll look back at how he worked to make life better in his community. Next. Well, the longtime Little Rock activist and business owner Robert Say McIntosh has died. A colorful and sometimes controversial figure, McIntosh dedicated his life to ending violence, eliminating inequity, and helping his neighbors. He founded Say's Stop the Violence organization, gave away free meals, and held toy drives for children around the holidays. And he sold his one-of-a-kind sweet potato pies at his restaurants. He also staged some outlandish protests and attacked powerful politicians. But more often than not, it was to bring attention to problems in the black community. And for that, he was beloved and unforgettable. Robert Say McIntosh was 79.
High heat yesterday. We have more of that coming later this week. Really high heat. I'll show you exactly how hot it gets with new information coming up.
Well, the other big story of this day occurred in Hot Springs, where a small plane crashed into Lake Hamilton this morning. Channel 7's Kayla Christian traveled to the scene of the crash and joins us now with the latest. Kayla.
Yes, crews have been out on Lake Hamilton all morning recovering more details on what residents say was a devastating scene.
I heard a loud noise, sounded like a building had collapsed or so, or something like that. And as I began to walk out on my upper deck at that point, there was a lady across the way over there screaming very loudly, and I didn't know at the point still at the time. But as I walked down on my lower deck, I could get a full view of what was going on, and I saw the plane, the tail of the plane.
Fire department, divers, and other emergency personnel arrived at the scene. Residents watched as rescue efforts took place.
It was going down. So at that point in time, everybody just woke up. You know, the police was all here or there, over there, and one of the guys that lives over there, he swam out to assist this lady to get her to the shore, and that's exactly what he did. He got her to the shore.
The two people on board have been identified as 23-year-old passenger Denise Jones, who was transported to UAMS, and 49-year-old pilot Daniel Dell Jones, who was confirmed dead at the scene.
Never seen anything like that before. I mean, obviously we're on the flight path because you can see some planes go by. But I've always had that thought, I wonder what time and what day will happen, somebody will crash into bay. So I'm very sorry for the family that lost the man to this tragedy.
KATV will be providing more details on this scene as they become available. On your side in Hot Springs, I'm Kayla Christian.
Okay, Kayla, thank you. And the NTSB will lead the investigation into the cause of that crash.
From the weather team with the most experience, this is Chief Meteorologist Barry Brandt.
Got a feel for the power crews that are getting power back on in a number of spots around the state. Down 13,000 just in the last hour. We need power back on because look at the high heat index readings later this week in that 110 plus range, like yesterday. Now in South Arkansas, it remains hot and humid, so even tomorrow there's a heat advisory in that part of Arkansas. Front goes down into southern Arkansas. It protects a lot of us from the high heat and humidity. Here's tomorrow afternoon, so you can see from Hot Springs southward, it's going to be terrible outside, but for the rest of us, not terrible. That ends on Wednesday as the warm and humid air moves up, and you can see these very high heat index readings, especially on Thursday and Friday. Now on Saturday, it looks like another front coming into the state. Maybe not as bad for the rest of us. Still bad, don't get me wrong, but there could be some thunderstorms that develop Saturday and especially Sunday, and I'll show you that. Actual air temperature-wise, we're going to be in record territory Thursday and Friday. Friday, 103. as the old record set 11 years ago when we had that hot late June. Well, that would be a record, and we're going to be close on Thursday. Again, that's actual air temperature. It'll feel worse than that. Overnight tonight, a couple of showers and thunderstorms possible across southwest and south Arkansas. Those kind of fizzle out, though, as we head into the morning hours. And most of us, including central and northern Arkansas, won't feel bad. 94 degrees in the heat, the peak heat of the afternoon. We're at 93 right now, and we got a little break from what it was yesterday. There's our Middleton weather cam. Overnight low tonight drops down to rather comfortable 72. North Arkansas could get to the low 60s. A few storms in southwest Arkansas late and then early tomorrow morning. But that's the only spot in the state that will get those. Up to 94 for a high tomorrow. And then the actual temperatures go way up. The best opportunity for rain would be Sunday and Monday of next week. And that really breaks the pattern, it looks like. The high heat was going to go away for a while at that time, but we got to get through it first.
Okay, and those cooling centers are so important. We've got a list of them at KATV.com for you, so make sure to check that out. Barry, thank you. Well, the Stars were out at Chenal Country Club for the annual Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame golf tournament. We'll hear from a couple of the Stars next.
From the Arkansas Select Buick GMC Sports Desk, here's Steve Sullivan.
You know, close to a historic day, but certainly one that was historic on this year's draft because, you know, we had the most players selected in the draft. And for all three of those guys to be freshmen really make it special.
Sure was. Muss held his first press event since the draft. The big question, how much of a bump does the university and the Hog Hoop program get from having 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick in the draft?
I don't know if there's a value to the university when there's a limited number of sporting events happening on that particular day, this juncture of the sporting season. Arkansas's name was really mentioned a lot. So I don't know what the ad value is for Arkansas or the Razorbacks, but I promise you there is value from a national standpoint for sure. What that is, I don't know, but I certainly know it's pretty powerful.
All right, the Hogs' list of SEC opponents for next season was released today. For the second straight year, they'll play Kentucky twice. The Hogs will also play Missouri, LSU, Georgia, and A&M twice. They'll play Alabama once in Tuscaloosa, and they'll play Tennessee at Bud Walton. 46 teams teeing it up today at beautiful Chenal Country Club in the annual Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame golf tourney. This is an important fundraiser for the Hall of Fame. Turnout from Hall of Famers was great today. Hall of Fame writer Wally Hall didn't tee it up, but was there to support the Hall of Fame.
I don't think there's any doubt that being inducted into the Hall of Fame is really special in Arkansas because we're such a small state, but we've had some great athletes. And you look around this room, we've got all pros from every sport. We've got all Americans. There's anything you want is here today playing.
The greatest of all.
Even Joe Klein.
Yeah. When you grow up playing sports, you know, you dream of being a part of this right here, and so, you know, hopefully one day soon I'll get my call, but if not, it's an honor to be here and play with some of these legends, some of these guys who I grew up watching, man, and so it's an honor to be here.
This is a highlight as far as every year to have the opportunity to come here and see guys that, I mean, I grew up admiring and respecting and so forth, and just being a part of this group is just, it's always been a real honor for me to be a part of it.
Yeah, Walt Coleman said having a profession that everybody hates is pretty good to get in the Hall of Fame.
But he's as good as it gets in the NFL. He is. For sure.
He's also a great speaker, too.
Well, and your first time at the tournament as a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
so congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
All right. We'll see you back here tonight at 10 o'clock. Good night.